Okay, let's talk Pro Tools for a second. This is my 2 cents. This is the Tone Deaf Dakota show, and I am your host, Tone Deaf Dakota. Here's the thing. Pro Tools basically help usher in a new wave. Before Pro Tools, we were all doing analog recordings. And I'm just going to be honest with you. If Pro Tools didn't come around and did what they did, then we wouldn't be where we're at right now. So, on those lines, we definitely got to respect it. Um, but as far as about them being the industry standard, here's the things that I think that made them or put them in that conversation of industry standard. One, their interfaces. In the beginning, their interfaces were none like no other. You couldn't get interfaces that did what their interfaces did. A lot of their interfaces were 24-bit at a time when most people didn't even know what an interface was, and let alone know what the bit rate was. Let's just be honest. That's really what it is. Secondly, they also had, what was it, 16-bit, 24-bit. They've been doing 32-bit for a while. Um, 44.1, 48, 88, and 96. They've been doing those for a while. We're talking about even before the early 2000s, especially if we're talking about Pro Tools HD systems. The majority of users, though, the thing that they did that was smart was get to go from big studios to smaller studios. Great idea that push the culture forward. Um, and let's just be honest. Without Pro Tools, home recording would be a travesty. Because I'm just going to be honest with you, right? The only major company that was really serious about home recording was really MIDI Man M Audio. They were the company I was more worried about home recordings. Their Delta series of interfaces is some of the best interfaces of all time. Um, you could do almost any bit rate on them, right? You can, except for I don't know if you can go up to 32 on those, but I do know that you can do 24-bit. You can definitely do 16-bit. I think you can do like 11 bits or 8 bits, something like that after 16. Um, Kilohertz ratio goes up and down the scale, you know what I mean? From the lows of the low to all the way up to 96. I mean, excuse me, 92 kilohertz. Um, but the real thing is this, right? I really feel like, I really feel that where Pro Tools messed up at is that they didn't keep up with the software. The software got really bad, and they didn't follow with what their actual user base wanted. Um, and on top of that, they had a lot of proprietary stuff. Like all of their interfaces, all their pro level interfaces at one point in time were proprietary, meaning that you couldn't use it in another application. So if you had, let's say you had Pro Tools, uh, let's say you had the Digi 001 and you decided to install Fruity Loops and try to run that. Um, nope, no bueno, no bueno, no bueno. You wasn't getting anywhere with that. You would have to buy a separate interface. Matter of fact, I know a lot of people who, at the time, who had that Digi, who also went out and bought an M Audio interface, right? And then when Digi Design bought uh, M Audio, that was even better because then you can have that one interface that ran Pro Tools and also ran Pro Tools Empowered, granted, right? A cut down version, but basically, um, because of the fact that they can do that, you would be able to use more than one software. But when we start talking about the beginning of this situation, The one thing that we really need to talk about is the fact that studios made Pro Tools the industry standards, not customers. Let me repeat that because I think that people think that when I say customers, that I'm talking about the studios being customers. No, 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 no. We're talking about the home market here. So let me clarify. The home market customer is what made Digital Design. They got a lot of money from them, but that wasn't the people who put them on as the industry standard. What made them the industry standard, what got them to that level where everybody agreed that yes, they are the industry standard, was studios. And I'm talking about your average recording studio at the time. Also, uh, Hollywood Hollywood, like TV stations and broadcasting places, they helped with that situation because Avid One was the software that everybody was using. Avid One was the software everybody was using to cut video, make changes and things like that. And video always needs audio. So Avid bought DigiDesign. And that's how that worked. And then they were smart enough to get great advertising, and then they knew to get into the schools. Because once they got into the schools, the people who would be coming from the schools, who would then go on to be your average engineer, where are they working at? Studios. Right. It was just a really good loop. They were able to maximize it, and that's how they became the industry standard. Now let's just backtrack for a second. Are they the industry standard because they're good for musicians? No. Are they the industry standard because they're good for the home user? No. Are they the industry standard? Well, the real question is that you got to ask yourself, what industry are we talking about? Because if we're talking about the music industry, wouldn't the music be more important? That's the problem with this whole situation. See, studios, when Avid first bought DigiDesign back in the 90s, studios quickly realized, hey, if I have Avid One and Pro Tools, I now can have two customers in my studio. Now my studio can run 24 hours a day. Now I can make money hand over fist. That's what studios discovered. They realized that all video needed audio, and all those movies that were edited on the Avid system needed clean audio to do it. Pro Tools to the rescue. Pro Tools come in. Now studios have two customers instead of just dealing with just musicians all the time, all day, all night. And that's what made them the industry standard. Now, are they going to keep that title? Nope, 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 nope. Because musicians are the ones who need music on a constant basis. Studios do need music, but not on a constant basis. And now almost all DAWs have a video aspect to them. And especially when you start looking at DaVinci Resolve, you start to realize that DaVinci Resolve is quickly taking over Avid's place. Quickly. The mere fact that you can get the software for free and get most of the pro level features for free is what's taking over. So yeah, studios are going to keep doing what they do, which is basically use the video aspect for their audio stuff. Yeah. Yep, studios are going to keep doing that. Is Avid going to lose the race? Well, they're bought by another company now. They're owned by an acquisition company now. And most of the time when you're dealing with those type of companies, they tend to they don't really care about the software. Let's just be honest. It's not Avid's fault. It's the acquisition company. Because the same thing happened with BeatThing. BeatThing Virtual is the only thing that they're selling now. And they're literally like, it's a horrible site. Just go over to the BeatThing, but I don't even know if the website's even up anymore. It was horrible. At the end, they just kind of hammered it down. You know what I mean? And they kept making sales on the sounds and on the software, even though the hardware was done and past its prime and was already in the trash bin. My point here is that this should be a lesson for us as musicians. This is what we really, as musicians, producers, people that do music, we really need to be paying attention to this. Is this company going to do right by us? We need companies to do right by us. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, I really feel kind of bad for Pro Tools on some level, because at the end of the day, they kind of started where the things that we're doing now. If you take DigiDesign and Avid out of the market, who was there to do all of that? Why would anybody even care? It was because of the fact that they were making money that everybody started to care. The fact that they were making money is the reason why everything has been happening the way it's happening. Cool Edit was a replacement for Pro Tools. Basically, Cool Edit was the cheap version of Pro Tools. We needed Cool Edit. And even though what's this company now? Can't think of their name. Adobe, even though Adobe bought it, they haven't been doing right by us. We got to start telling these companies, hey, look, you need to do right by us. Stop this crap. And that's what everybody is talking about. You know what I mean? Pro Tools definitely did some things wrong. They did some things right. That's the nature of business. But at the same time, right, they played a lot of games. That's why this is ending the way it's ending. I don't think they've ever been this. They've been the standard in the beginning, but are they, ever since 2000 popped in, they haven't been able to keep up. Ever since the year 2000. Soon as 2000 came in and they put out the first inbox, and you couldn't use inbox with your Fruity Loops. The day people discovered that was the first kink on the belt. That's how they went down. When people started noticing all the proprietary nature, all the things that they were doing to try to save face and to keep going and so on and so forth and blah, blah, blah. How are you going to block somebody from telling people the real on a website? That's crazy. I mean, at the end of the day, some of these manufacturers don't really deserve our love. Some do. And some are trying to make amends with us. You know what I mean? I really love Behringer for trying to make amends with us as musicians. I think if they just keep themselves open, just try to do the best that they can, I think that they could be one of the most awesome companies, even though they had a rocky start. But I am going to say that this proprietary nature that Pro Tools used to exhibit is the problem why they're at where they're at right now. They're never going to recover from that. And now that they've been bought by an acquisition company, it's pretty much over. Because the acquisition company doesn't care about us. It don't. And it's not going to make any good stuff. It's not going to bring anything that's great to, when they start giving us some good features, then I mean, I'll change my tune. But other than that, this is my 2 cents right here and right now. Pro Tools, until you start doing right by us as musicians, start doing right by us. We care. You don't. So, yeah, fix that. You can do better. That's crazy. I am your host, Tone Deaf Dakota, and this was my 2 cents. DigiDesign, do better.